Madam Speaker, doon kanina kinanta ni Congressman Erice, sino ang tunay na baliw? Posibleng baliw. Pero tayo ba ay nasasaktan sa mga ginawa niya? Noong naglabas siya ng video at nagsabi na tayo mga buhaya, a few days after that, I talked to him. Sinabi ko sa kanya, huwag kang maglabas ng ganyan. Huwag mo sabihin na tayong lahat ay buhaya dahil ikaw ay isa ring congressman. Sinasabi mo rin na buhaya ka. Ngayon, paano yung mas mabigat na mga nakasira talaga ng imahe natin? Yung mga talagang nagnakaw. Yung rason kung bakit tayo tinatawag na congressman ngayon. Na tayo daw ay nagnanakaw sa mga flood control programs. Yung bang mga baseless accusations kung bakit tayo ay sinasabing merong maleta na binigyan ng 20 million pesos. Dear colleagues, si Kiko ay binoto ng mga taga Cavite sa distrito niya. Hayaan natin na sila ang magtanggal sa kanya by not voting for him in the coming elections. Dear colleagues, let us examine ourselves. Tayo ba ay talagang napakalinis? Tayo ba ay hindi rin baliw paminsan-minsan? Meron din naman tayong mga colleagues dito na gumagamit ng social media. Kung ano-ano sinasabi sa atin. Minumura rin tayo paminsan-minsan. Diba? Discipline him. Reprimand him. Suspend him as much as you want. But for us to take him out, let us not put this action of expulsion in our own hands. Let the people of Cavite in his district decide for him and not us for these reasons.
Paborito ko po si Kulidesma. Sino ba ang tunay na baliw? Yung bang isinilang sa pag-iisip ay kapos? Gusto ang isip, ngunit sakim naman na lubos. Ang mga social media posts and speeches ni Kiko Barsaga na bumabatiko sa pamahalaan sa Administrasyong Marcos at iba pang opisyal ng pamahalaan kabilang na ang Kamara at Senado. Gaano man ka-provocative o ka-harsh, ito ay hindi sapat na dahilan upang pagkaitan natin ng kinatawan ang daan-daang libong mamamayan ng Dasmariñas, Cavite. The House has already imposed suspensions for the same conduct. An expulsion based on substantially identical acts are excessive and disproportionate. My concern is whether expulsion would be perceived as punishment for dissent rather than on genuine disorderly behavior. A court would likely be reluctant to interfere with the House internal disciplinary powers. However, from a constitutional law perspective, expelling a representative for criticism, harsh language, and controversial social media posts would be difficult to defend as a proportionate exercise of the expulsion power. Si Kiko Barsaga ay hindi nagnakaw sa kaban ng bayan. Si Kiko Barsaga ay walang conflict of interest di tulad ng mga contractors na iniiwasang imbestigahan ng Kamara. Si Kiko Barsaga ay hindi nagpasok ng mga kahina-hinalang alokasyon sa national budget. Si Kiko Barsaga ay dumadalo sa sesyon di tulad ng mga maraming kinatawan. Hindi mo nakikita sa plenaryo pero laging present sa attendance record ng Kamara. This is simply a tyranny of the supermajority to please those in power that were offended by Representative Kiko Barsaga. Ito ay pagpapatahimik sa mga hindi sumasang-ayon. Minsan, Dumalo ako sa burol ng aking kamag-anak ng aking high school classmate. Pinakilala ko sa mga naroroon. Si Egay po, kaklase ko, congressman ng Caloocan. Hindi po buhaya yan. Matino yan. Napaisip ako. Nasabi ni Kiko Barsaga sa kanyang FB post, "This house is a crocodile farm." This is not just himself speaking. Actually, it is a reflection of what the people think and view us.
Honorable Erice, have another minute.
Sa South Lounge, sa Huntahan, hindi naman kinakaila, marami. Uusap-usap tayo. Ina-admit natin, hindi maganda ang tingin sa atin ng mamamayan after the flood control anomaly. Hindi kasalanan ni Kiko Barsaga kung buhaya at korap ang tingin ng maraming Pilipino sa atin. Hindi kasalanan ni Kiko kung mababa ang tingin sa Kongreso. Tayong lahat ay may pananagutan dito. Sa imaing ito, maraming aligasyon ng korupsyon. Yung ombudsman mismo ang nagsasabi, there are a lot of contractors dito sa Kamara, pero bakit hindi natin ito iniimbestigahan? Conflict of interest, anomalous budget and infrastructure, pork barrel, patronage politics using government funds, bundat ng mga political dynasties. Ngunit sa halip na linisin natin ang ating hanay at magbago sa ating mga gawi, pinili nating magalit, mainsulto at parusahan ng mga nagsasalita. Galit tayo, nasasaktan tayo sapagkat may kasabihan. Truth hurts! Kailangan pag-isipan natin itong mabuti. Bilog ang mundo. Papanalangin ko na huwag dumating na tayo ang magiging biktima ng kapangyarihan na ginagamit upang apihin ang malayang pagpapahayag. Ayon sa awit ni Alicia Keys, na ang title ay Karma. Karma. What goes around, comes around. What goes up, must come down. Mga ate, kuya, tatay, nanay, lolo o lola ni Kiko dito sa Kamara. Ang bata, kung nagkakamali, alam ko, hindi gaanong normal yung mga gawi ni Kiko dito sa Kamara. Pero minsan, yung bata, nakakatuwa. Pero yung mga matatanda na ayaw magbago, dapat, paalalahanin natin, dapat habang tumatanda tayo dito sa Kamara, tumitino rin tayo. Salamat po.
The report recommends the gravest sanction within our power, expulsion. So I ask this chamber to pause and ask the only constitutional question that matters. Not whether his conduct offended us, much of it did, not whether he was discourteous or reckless. He may well have been. The question is whether expulsion is commensurate with what he actually did. Madam Speaker, this House did not look far for the standard it has already set within its own hands. In 2024, in the 19th Congress, former Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez faced the gravest species of legislative misconduct imaginable short of treason, publicly urging the armed forces and the Philippine National Police to withdraw their support from the Commander-in-Chief, a conduct the Department of Justice was investigating as inciting to sedition. The Committee on Ethics, by unanimous vote, recommended a 60-day suspension. And yet, this plenary deliberately downgraded that penalty to mere censure, a formal reprimand on the express finding that suspension was disproportionate to the nature and context of his misconduct, the statements being emotional expressions rather than intentional calls for harm. In that act, my colleagues, this House articulated upon its own record a binding principle that the penalty must be proportioned to the true gravity and context of the offense. Measured against that benchmark, the sanction now before us is starkly inverted. Our colleagues' offense consisted of incendiary and defamatory posts, conduct unbecoming, speech-based misconduct that, however distasteful, falls well below the incitement of the military to abandon their commander-in-chief. Yet for that lesser conduct, he was made to suffer not censure, but a 60-day suspension without pay, followed by a second consecutive 60-day suspension. If quasi-seditious appeals to the armed forces earned only a public reprimand, then stack suspensions for objectionable online posts cannot be reconciled with any coherent standard of proportionate discipline. They invent the very proportion of this House, they invert the very proportion of this House professed in Alvarez, and they approach the de facto disenfranchisement of an entire district for what it remains, at bottom, protective if intemperate speech. I do not rise to defend his manners. I rise to question our measure. A penalty must answer to the offense. And this one does not. It overreaches the speech it would punish. It overrides the voters who chose him. It overshoots every principle of proportion our Constitution was raised to protect. So let us discipline if discipline is due. But let us not expel, for to expel here is not to uphold the dignity of this House. It would diminish it.
The question before us is not whether we approve of the sentiments expressed in his online posts. The question is whether the Constitution protects it and whether the extraordinary penalty of expulsion is justified. Article 3, Section 4 of the Constitution could not be more emphatic. No law shall be passed abridging the freedom of speech, of expression, and of the press. The Supreme Court has consistently held that political speech and expression occupies the highest rung of constitutional protection. Such protection extends not only to speech that is agreeable, but also to speech that is controversial, provocative, offensive, and even inflammatory. The Constitution that does not merely protect speech that comforts. It also protects speech that disturbs. Totoo, may mga pahayag na hindi nakaabot sa antas ng decorum na inaasahan natin sa kapulungan ito. Ngunit ang kakulangan ng decorum ay sapat na bang basihan para i-expel si Congressman Barzaga? Has by the record, and Congressman Barzaga has by the record already been twice suspended for substantially similar social media posts. The disciplinary power of this institution has already been invoked and imposed. The House has exercised its disciplinary prerogative. The present recommendation to escalate from suspension to expulsion absent a demonstrably graver and distinct transgression invites the question, what constitutional threshold has now been crossed to warrant the severest sanction? Kung ang parehong uri ng pananalita ay dati ng pinatawan ng suspensyon, anong bagong batayan ang magtutulak sa atin ngayon sa expulsion naman? What is now being proposed is not another measure of correction, but the most severe available sanction to this chamber. And this brings us to the principle even more fundamental than the rights of the member, the right of the people. A congressman is not appointed by this House. He is elected by the sovereign will of his constituents. The authority he carries is not ours to bestow, and therefore, it should not be ours to withdraw lightly. Kapag tayo ay nag-expel ng isang miyembro, hindi lamang isang tao ang ating pinarurusahan. Ang tunay na nawawalan ay ang mga mamamayan naghalal sa kanya upang maging kanilang tinig sa Kongreso. We remove not merely a seat, we remove a representation. We diminish not merely an individual mandate, we diminish the electoral choice of thousands of citizens who entrusted him with that mandate. We silence not merely a member, we silence a district. For that reason, expulsion must remain a remedy of last resort, reserved for the conduct fundamentally that destroys the integrity of the institution itself. Expulsion is a constitutional event with direct implications on democratic representation. It must be reserved for circumstances where the members' continued presence so fundamentally impairs the integrity of the institution that no lesser remedy suffices. Ano bang ikinabawas ng Kongreso sa mga sinabi ni Kong Barzaga? Has his continued presence so fundamentally impaired the integrity, legitimacy, or functioning of the House that no lesser remedy is sufficient? Did the institution suffer a permanent injury that cannot be corrected by censure, reprimand, suspension, or public accountability? More importantly, this House must recognize that the individual who felt aggrieved by his statements have not been left without recourse. In fact, they have already availed themselves of remedies provided by law. Multiple cyber libel complaints have already been filed against Kiko Barsaga. Kung naniniwala ang mga nagrereklamo na ang kanyang mga pahayag ay lumampas sa hangganan protektado ng pananalita at naging kriminal na, meron ng umiiral na proseso upang ang mga ito ay mapatunayan. Ang prosesong iyon ay hindi nagaganap sa bulwagang ito kung hindi sa hukuman.
Honorable
courts-
Bong Suntay, please wrap up.
The courts possess the competence, the procedural safeguards, and the constitutional mandate to determine whether a statement constitutes protected speech or actionable defamation. They can receive evidence, assess intent, determine liability, and impose the penalties prescribed by law. If the statements are indeed unlawful, the courts will say so. If they are protected by the Constitution, the courts will likewise say so. May nasaktan, may nagalit, may nagreklamo, ngunit ang pagkagalit o pagkainsulto, gaano man katotoo, ay hindi pakatumbas ng pagkasira ng institusyon. The Constitution demands a higher threshold before the elected representative of an entire district is removed from office. The true test of commitment to freedom is not whether we protect the voices we agree with. It is when we protect the voices we disagree with. And the true test of commitment to this representative government is whether we respect the electoral choices of the people, even if when those choices are comfortable. Ipagpauman ninyo po if I appear to be sympathetic to the plight of Congressman Barsaga. Minsan rin po akong nakaranas dumaan sa Ethics Committee at nanganib na masuspinde dahil sa isang analogy na aking hinayag during a committee deliberation. Nagpapasalamat ako sa ating mga kasamahan na tumayo upang ako ay hindi mapatawan ng parusang suspensyon. At gaya ng pagtayo nila, para maprotektahan ng aking karapatang magsalita, ako ngayon ay tumatayo upang ipaglaban rin ang karapatan ng isa nating kasamahan dito sa Kamara. Hindi lamang para magsalita, ngunit para may pagpatuloy magsilbing boses ng kanyang distrito. Kagaya ng sinulat ni Evelyn Beatrice Hall, I may not agree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it.